Welcome everybody out there to Divorce Devil episode 262. David and Rachel on the mic. Today we're talking about divorce recovery and employment, job, workspace, work-life, divorce balance.
Yeah.
There we go.
And David doesn't let me talk about stuff because I just start rambling. He's like, hey, we're doing a podcast. But my thing I was going to say right before we went on air is being an employee, what are you doing?
Gotta make sure.
I can see me, but you're okay. There you are.
Hi.
Hey, man. How are ya?
Yep.
Okay.
Doing great.
So, being an employee and being the boss when you're going through divorce recovery is way different. I
never thought of that.
When I was going through mine, I really had a supportive employer. Working in a school in front of kids, you have to put on your happy face and not really bring your work life to your outside life to work because you have to be on, right? So, and being a nurse, you have to be alert and wake oriented, all the things. And so, thankfully, everybody at work was really understanding. There were days where I'm like, I'm sorry, you just can't come in. I've been crying all night. Like, you don't want me there.
I can't do it.
And then, and a lot of schools, secretaries are health assistants or health monitors or whatever. And so I would feel guilty for putting that on the people at work because, you know, my job was, I'm the only one in the building that does my job. So again, all the things that go with having to still go to work when you're going through divorce, which sucks.
So how do you show up? How do you keep showing up through the recovery process that you're in a shit show? How do you still show up for work and do a good job?
Let's start with the employer aspect. You as an employer, you have been through it, and I'm sure you've had employees that have gone through it. So how does that differentiate?
As an employer, you know, you're not supposed to rely on your staff, but my staff really helped me. I was very blessed from that standpoint because I was a shit show. Even going to work, just staying at work, getting through work, they were really instrumental through getting me through it. It was, and so if you work in a big corporation, you have access to what's that stuff called? The therapist.
AAP.
AAP.
Yeah.
EAP? AAP. EAP.
Yeah. What else?
Yeah. But when you're a small,
program or
a
something?
small guy, meat potatoes, you don't have access into that.
Mhm.
So you have to wing it a little bit. So you end up relying on your employees but the workforce, it does affect it.
Yeah.
It's going to affect it no matter what.
Well, if the boss is going through that and is having emotional things or having to deal with stuff or going to court and, you know, you don't really get to pick the day that all happens. It's like,
Yep.
okay, here's your date. You gotta go.
Cancel patients for this day.
Cancel patients,
Yep.
all the things.
It's plain
And
next.
so again, I wasn't the boss. But I had to delegate a lot of the things that I would normally do on a daily basis to someone else. And they also have their own work. So then it's like, okay, I'm guilt-ridden person. Like I don't want people to do my job.
It takes a village.
And so did you find that a lot of because you don't have a lot of employees, but you have enough, or did they became the boss because you couldn't be the boss, or they had to take the reins of things? I mean, they didn't do the dentist stuff, but
they did take the reins on a lot of things when I kind of faltered from the standpoint of, having to leave, cancel patients. There was a couple times where we had to cancel patients because I was done. Like I was done for the day.
yeah.
And I had 2-3 more patients, and they came up with constructive reasons why, hey, we have a sewer backup. Hey, Dr. Webb has a pimple on his nose, so he can't work.
As
So we
soon
have
as
to
he's back up and he has diarrhea, he's got
yeah,
to go home.
so we have to reschedule your appointment. So they were Johnny on the spot. They really helped me. What's that? What's Johnny on the spot? What's so funny?
Johnny on the spot is the porta potty, and you just said the sewer backed
is it?
up. Yeah.
That
Back east, Johnny on the spot.
that must be. I
porta-potty.
was getting ready to say that must be an East Coast thing.
Yeah, so porta potty back east is called the Johnny on the spot because like right now you got to go. Okay, so all right, it might not be funny for everybody, but the fact you said sewer, I said diarrhea, and you said Johnny on the spot. The worlds have come to the universe is like, that's gonna be funny. Maybe everybody will get
Ready?
it, but
That was so funny.
okay. Sorry.
So
I thought that was funny, but it's okay.
they were instrumental in being there for me. So I never thanked them enough. But like I said, though,
I hope everybody out there is Googling Johnny on the spot.
Johnny on the spot, yeah, yeah. Johnny on the spot means that they were there for you, not they're
No,
you're pooping.
no, that
Yeah.
means like you
So
don't
so
have it.
so is that a general term or is that actually a firm?
We have to rent a Johnny on the spot is like a
Is it a
term.
firm?
That's like if you're having a party at your house.
No. Is it a firm called Johnny on the spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's, I mean,
So it's a firm and then it's an item. So it's both.
yeah, I mean,
right.
I don't know. Again, porta potty, Johnny on the spot, literally. Okay, we're done.
Isn't porta potty a little bit easier than Johnny on the spot?
We didn't call them porta potties. We call them Johnny on the spot.
But they're porta potties.
Yes.
So porta potties and divorce recovery,
Yeah.
definitely.
When the shit hits the fan.
Anyway, my staff was porta potty there for me.
He stepped up when
they stepped up when the
sewage
sewer was
was backed
backed
up.
up. Oh yeah,
Sorry.
them damn
We digress a lot here.
them damn
Yeah.
roots.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, in a small office, that everybody has a role, but I think we all know each other's rules. Technically, you may not do all the things
Yep.
everybody else, but you can step in for the moment for an emergency or whatever.
Just like they step in when you're sick.
Yeah.
You know, you're sick, they step in, but it's a longer sickness.
So my desk at one point was basically the front desk. Like I just got a little spot because a lot of schools didn't have nurses in every building. So when they started doing that, my desk was literally like a countertop and I had this little tiny space, a computer and thing. I finally was able to make another office in like the copy room area, but I could see into the main office. Like there's a big glass window.
Mhm.
So a lot of times when teachers were coming in and trying to make copies and my door was closed, they were like, "Oh, wait, you okay?" And so I'm like, "No, you're fine. Come on in." Like, and then I would have to get out of that space quickly.
So you impeded the functionality of the
did.
school.
So they made accommodations for me to be able to like close my door. Like my office literally was a closet with a cot and like some cabinets and a bathroom attached.
I don't see why you just can suck it up and just get through the day.
Seriously. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
Come on, that's what everybody thinks.
Get it
Just
together.
suck that shit up
I think
and not the porta potty. Suck that shit up
So-
and get after it.
what happens, I mean, let's be real. What happens when you have a boss who's not compassionate
Oh,
about it, or you're in
Jesus.
a big corporation and like you got
Oh.
no PD day left or no, what is it called? Paid PTO. You
Yeah.
don't have any PTO.
Especially if the boss doesn't like you.
Yeah. And if you're struggling and, a lot of times divorce doesn't happen just overnight. There's
Yep.
been signs or signals to other people that something's up. And maybe you've used all your time because you had a huge fight with your soon to be ex or your ex and, you don't have any time left. Now you have to be sick in order to get paid. Then you have to go to the urgent care, do all the things
And get proof.
and get proof that you were sick. And how does that work?
If you got a dick of a boss,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
Just
Or
hold
again,
on.
if you're just a number in a big corporation or whatever, do they know that you're there?
Hold on and document.
Yeah. So I think too, mental health. I don't think we deal with that enough in
Nope.
big. I mean, I'm sure now we do, but
Especially those who are mental.
that's me.
Yep, there you go.
Yes, but you love me.
Yeah.
So I think too, they may not give a shit who you are, but a lot of times the smaller group of people who work together will be like, "Hey, I know you're not doing great, blah, blah, blah. Go take an extra
Coworkers.
break."
Yep.
You have to lean on people. And I think a lot of times, especially if you're in somewhere where, you're just a number or whatever, you have to really advocate for yourself. And like, does that mean going to HR and be like, "Hey, I'm going through a divorce. I don't know how I'm going to feel each day. Like, what are my options?" Again, like if you don't have any PTO left, if you have all the things, I think we need to do better as a society with work and going, "Hey, I can't do my job 100% if I'm going through this, if I'm dealing with, shit." Like, my ex didn't pick up the kids on time. So then the kids were upset. Or, this morning was a terrible thing because we woke up late because we were all upset last night. Or, custody's terrible. Or I signed my papers yesterday, but I have to work today and I don't have time to take off. So now I have to go to work and not cry and do all the things.
Mhm.
So I think we need to be more transparent when we're going through it. I think you need to be like, I'm never, if you've been divorced before, but if most people haven't been divorced before and they're like, I don't know how this works. I don't know what's going on. I don't know when my court dates are. If they tell me I have to be there at 1:00 on a Tuesday, I gotta be there at 1:00 on a Tuesday. I don't get to decide that that's my day. Or, when I was going through my divorce, I literally the next day was like, hey, my son's gonna go through this and that. Can he have a counselor, psychologist? What do we need to do to set up for him to see somebody or talk to someone? The kids were just told yesterday, or we have to go to court and figure out what days he has them. And then the first time that you have to hand your child over when you're 100% parent and now you're a 50% parent, time-wise, when you're with your kid, you should be 100%. Or the version of you that you can be. A lot of times it was like, here's your iPad. I need to take a little break. Let's do the thing. And it's okay. I think we are expected to be on all the time. We talked about last week, we talked about social media. If your boss sees you going out every night because you're going through a divorce on social media, you might have a problem too. So I think we need to be transparent with our bosses. And I mean, I think the ideal thing would be
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Don't tell them everything.
No. And again, you don't have to tell them about your, night out on the town and I can't come in because I'm hungover. But just be aware of, like, you still have a job, you still have to support yourself. And now things are going to get, people think, oh, I'm going to divorce, I'm going to get rich. I mean, again, that does happen. It does happen. But most of the time it's now you have to either buy a new car or have the car and take over the payments. And then you might have to find a new house, or you might have to, you may have to get a babysitter, or you may have to find someone for the days that you have your kid, childcare. Like, you might have to split the cost now because, one of you paid or whatever. I think, or what if you're a stay-at-home parent and the other person works and they're going through stuff, and now, you might have more responsibility because your ex might have the kid on a certain amount of days and you have them on a different amount of days and all the things. And so now what are you doing? So a lot of your dynamics change in your life, whether you stay at home, whether you work for yourself. There's another, like, if you're, have a job where you're basically an independent worker and you're working remote, that might struggle. You're like, I don't want to get out of bed today, but you might be able to get on your computer, or you might not be able to get on your computer. And then, if someone's not monitoring how you work or what your work is, and it's such a slack and no one knows you're going to divorce, there's a lot of issues there.
And you probably don't want to date at work. I just want to throw that out there, folks. You don't
want to dip the newly divorced dad either.
Yeah. You don't want to dip your magic wand in the company ink, or put your clam around the eraser. You don't want.
Okay.
You don't want to. Workplace romances do work, but 90% of the time they don't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think unless you're married and you work with your spouse at somewhere, that's fine.
Keep that. Yeah.
What happens if you work with your spouse and you're getting divorced? Oh, I just thought about that one. That's going to be messy. Is someone else getting a new job, or are you working together and just, passing in the home saying, fuck you? Yeah. Again, there's a lot of topics that I don't know. If you had an experience like that, let us know and we can talk about that. But I think with this topic, I really learned who my friends were, especially at work. I have my now best friend. She would, I think you've heard this story before. She would leave a little protein cookie on my desk, or a shake saying, hey, when's the last time you ate? What'd you do with my headphones? I can't hear myself.
Can you hear?
No. There we go. Yeah. See, technical difficulties.
Jesus.
We don't have a manager that does all that.
No. He's divorced.
He's on the divorce.
He's
He
he's
unplugged
divorced.
me because I was saying too much.
Yeah, he's done.
I think, she was more of she was in the same group of people that I hung out with, and we were friends, but not like, going
You
out
know
all
why?
the time
You know
specific
why?
reason why.
I'm sorry. It was just on my heart.
Okay, I
Yeah,
don't know what that was.
yeah.
And so she was there when I needed her and I didn't know I needed her. And then my best friend at the time, like, was upset with me because she was going through her own stuff and I wasn't present for her when she needed it. And I think, I'm one of those people, I just go into my own space and when I come out a little bit, I'll be like, set my tone out. No, I'm not healed. Wait, I'm not healed. And when I come out, I hope that people are more understanding that I've been
Hmm.
absent only for my own benefit because I heal and do things myself. And I, try not to, put my shit on other people because my entire life it's always been at me, at me, at me, at me, and trying to heal other people and fix other people. And you have to take care of yourself. And your job
Yep.
is now how you pay for things. If you've had a shared income, you may not be doing things. Or what if you've planned a trip together and now you're getting divorced and how that works out? There's just so many things that you don't think about when you um are going through divorce or when you're new in it, or hey, we have this cruise planned in a year. Shit, now what? Or do we both go on the cruise? Do we both bring somebody else? How does that work? There's one of you going, one of you not going. There's like that song, like I'm drunk on a plane because going down the island didn't work out, and now he's going on his honeymoon by himself. So I think there's just a lot of things that you don't think about. And if I'm thinking about my divorce and my kids and all stuff, I'm not thinking about work
What?
until I have to think about work. Oh wait, I have to pay bills. Oh wait, I have $27 in the bank, and just all the things you know that happen. And I don't know. And as an employer, like, how lenient are you? How, understanding are you? If it's affecting the whole office and, you were the affecting of the office thing.
That's so if I have an employee that's going through a divorce, it's very interesting because I've been through a divorce, but there's employers out there that never been through a divorce, so they can't sympathize.
Oh,
So from the standpoint of someone not going through a divorce, I think it's harder for them to realize what the hell's going on. But me, I see stuff happen before it happens. I see the landmines coming, and you want to warn them, but you really can't because you have to keep it cordial and boss
well,
like.
you want to also be like, don't forget to take time for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
forget to do this. Self-care, is
But you
not,
don't want to be a therapist either.
no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You don't want to go, be that therapist road.
Well,
Eh,
and you've been out of it for a while, right? I've been out of it for almost 6 years. Almost 6 years. So I think our our foresight and all the things that we didn't know back then and all the things that now, I feel like if someone gave me all the answers, I wouldn't have healed how I did. Like, I think it's like with kids, they have
What
to
answers? What answers?
like, hey, serial dating and staying in too long, you might want to like not do that. Make sure you're ready to date. But I feel like all the things that I did to get to where I am now
Hmm.
created this space, which I love. And, not everybody has a podcast that they can come on and listen or, talk how they're feeling or what they're thinking and all the things. But I know, like, at my work, just in the 5 years that I've been there, so many people have gotten divorced. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know what you need right now. I don't know what stage you're in. I don't know what you need from me, but I'm here. Ask. But I'm also going to ask you like how you're doing today. And
Hmm.
if you're like, nope, can't talk about it because I want
That's
to
fine.
cry, I'll
Because you
know
realize
that I know that space. I know that,
step
like,
back.
I'm sorry, I got to keep myself busy or I'm going to cry, or
Hmm.
I have a meeting today. I can't cry until after the meeting. Um, you know, Students at my office are more needy than others that, I know I need to be there for a certain time. I have, things I have to do at certain times of the day. So if I'm crying and I see a kid, they'll be like, what's wrong? Like, I'm like, oh, mine, it's fine. So I think what happens is you like-minded people find each other. And I think a lot of
Hmm.
times, just from helping one person, they learned that I had a podcast. And then someone else is like, hey, I was not good at therapy in the beginning. So I did a group one. I knew I needed it. I just didn't know what I needed. And I didn't want to, like everybody, I didn't want to be sitting one on one. My story, here's my story. You're judging me. Here's what's happened. And in my divorce group therapy, I was like, ooh, I haven't, it's not that bad. Okay. Okay, cool. So my ease in therapy was going, I was judging. I mean, like this, I was judging other people's stories, made me feel better. But when it came time for my story, I was like, oh, well, I'm good. I'm getting divorced. Okay. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. And until you're able to tell your story and do all the things, I feel like it's just like this chaos in your mind. And you come up with your version of what happened. Your ex has their version of what happens. If you're in a small community,
And then the truth.
and then everybody's version is a little muddled because our perception of what happened is always different than the other person's, and we know how you think and how you do all the things. And uh, just just getting to a point where you can go to work and not cry all day is a good thing. And if you have an employer who's not very sympathetic or compassionate, lean on somebody at work, or, just do what you can. Just kind of, again, I don't have all the answers, especially because my work, thank you, my school then, was very helpful in like, hey, I got this one. Hey, go for a walk outside. Hey, go check out the outdoor learning. Hey, there's this class is outside doing gym today. Why don't you go do that? Or go monitor it. So I was able to escape anytime that I was having something, or I'd get an angry text from, my ex, or I'd get a text going, okay, your court date is now. And then when we were going through our divorce, COVID happened. So there was a whole other dynamic of, can I send my son, again, what everybody's trying to follow the guidelines in the beginning. Um, if does he have to quarantine, or if I am able to stay home with him and my ex isn't because he travels or whatever, still has to do his job as an essential worker or whatever. Do I have my son for 3 weeks now because you have to quarantine 14 days? There were so many things that I had to worry about. And then my work, we were called back to like clean the building and like move stuff and get kids, because we went to spring break and didn't come back. So kids still had coats and backpacks and lunch
Dang.
boxes and all the things and their supplies. And we had to bag things up with each kid's name. And, that didn't, and then they had to be quarantined for 14 days. And then it was, graduation for sixth graders and this and kindergarten graduation. And how do you do that? Like
It was a shit show.
we had parades for those. And so a lot of things were keeping me busy because there was a pandemic going on. But yeah, I think, especially the people in my friend group who knew like we were having issues, not a lot of people knew the meat and bones of it, because I didn't want people to have a perception of either one of us based on the opposite person's story. And I only learned that I only learned that from my parents. My mom and dad were in the same group of friends. They went to the same bars. They went to, everybody worked together, all the things. And so it was my mom and dad's version and then their friend's version of what each of them told each other. So what you had my dad, my mom, both telling the same people their stories, and then people deciphering what really happened. So I think I learned from that, from my parents, to not make a judgment on someone's divorce. And so I didn't want people to do that for Jerry and I, which is why I think we are able to have the divorce that we have.
What you went through. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Workplace divorce. And we're talking mainly after the divorce,
Mhm.
and sometimes it's more of it's a bigger shit show afterwards
Yeah.
than before, especially if it's not, if it's antagonistic,
Yeah.
which was mine, and trying to, some of the employees are friends.
Yeah.
He gets the friends.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
so much collateral damage.
especially at a school,
Yeah.
because I worked at my kids at my son's school. And so people that I wasn't, it was a small school, so everybody knew each other pretty
Mhm.
well, and we did stuff. And a lot of us lived in the community, so it was, convenient. But like, My daughter worked at the country club, one of the country clubs, and at one point, and then went to a different country club where we're from, and just the two different communities had different versions of what was told and why we did that. And then I'd have teachers come up to me, "Hey, did you hear blah blah blah's dad's single? They're getting divorced, or did you
Get
hear
the
blah, blah,
hookup, baby.
oh, yeah." And so, and then it was like the neighbors, like we still lived in our house for a while.
Well, the neighbors hooking up too?
When we were going through like our separation and stuff like that. And so like, we moved out of our one house and into a rental for a little bit so we can decide what was
Didn't
going on.
didn't somebody married throw you a lifeline? Some dude?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I hear you are getting divorced. I've always
that's
thought
not
you were
uncommon.
nice.
That's not uncommon.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's
wait,
uncommon.
aren't you happily? Didn't you
Yeah.
just do your wedding renewal?
Renew your vows, and
Yeah.
you want something on the side. Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Well, it was more or less, I heard you guys are getting divorced. If you need anything, I always thought you were a nice person, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
do you need anything?
block.
I got you, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody loves
Yeah.
Cold Stone, but sometimes you need some soft serve.
Well, no, like, and, back home, like, in New Jersey, we lived where he grew up, and friends of his would like text me and I'm like, what? I don't really know who you are, but cool story. So yeah, people are, outside of your marriage, people are savage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another big thing is with my practice, my wife was involved in the practice. So she knew yeah. So it was tough splitting those hairs.
Yeah.
Very,
Well,
very hard.
again, who gets who, and
Yeah.
if your ex-wife would like go out to dinner with the girls in the office or whatever, and then they have to pick sides, and then hey, I need my job, so I have to be.
Well, they got to pick a side because they need a damn job.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I need the job, so I have to be nice to David. But when we're at dinner, we can talk shit or whatever. And I think like ours too, like our neighbors, again, went to the country club where my daughter worked, and they're like, "Oh, I heard your mom and dad," and blah blah blah, and just what? Like,
Yeah.
leave my kids out of it, first of all. I mean, if you want to say how you doing, I heard about your parents. If you need anything, let us know. But it was really like
Intrusive.
yeah, and for my kids, I would be like, if my mom and dad didn't tell you, back up, like, and don't leave my mom and dad out of it. But and my daughter was very like, again, I need my job. These people tip well, kind of thing. But I think, living in the community and, also being not generally new, right? When COVID happened, we'd only lived there for a little bit, for like 4 years. But my times are all just like blurring together. I think especially neighbors, like, the one neighbors to our right, the wife was early stages of dementia and stuff like that. So we were over there a lot helping out. And you know, the first week we moved there, they had a huge party for us, like 40 people. They rented like a taco truck, all the things. I'm like, whoa, hello. So like very early on, we made really tight bonds, both of us, with our neighbors and all things. And, like, oh, by the way, we're getting divorced. Like, I think one of the neighbors we saw trick-or-treating, like, that later, once we still did like combined trick-or-treating in the town, I'm like, oh, by the way, we moved out and we're getting divorced. So they're like, oh, I guess you're not coming to, Super Bowl
Together.
party? Yeah.
So closing out, what can you tell listeners out there? What's the one thing you want to impart to them when dealing with divorce recovery and employment and jobs? What can they do?
Again, this is my opinion. Whoever your higher up is, you need to be like, hey, I'm hoping this doesn't affect my job emotionally, physically, all the things. I'm wanting to do the best at my job, but there might be days where I just am not going to give 100%. I think that communication and, like I said, transparency, everybody has that work buddy or work, wife or husband or whatever. Well, unless that's the reason you're getting divorced. Anyway, reach out to them. Maybe they can get the word out or whatever. like I said, since I've worked at my job now, there's been multiple people who gone through divorce when I found out, like, hey, I'm not trying to be intrusive. I don't know what stage you're in. I don't know what you need, but if you need me to make you dinner, or you need me to buy you dinner, or you need me to come watch your class for a little bit, just because you got that angry text, or you got your child's dealing with divorce right now in the middle of the class because we're talking about, that, just have someone, or, someone that you can talk to, or, just let them know. Because if you're doing all this stuff and nobody knows, you might lose your job. Because if you're just being flaky, or you're crying, or what's your problem, and you're not one that talks about it, or you're shy or whatever, I think you need to have somebody in your workspace that knows. Again, if you're self-employed or you work remote, you still need to let somebody know, because, hey, you're supposed to be on a meeting at 9 o'clock, but you're in the bathroom sobbing like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't make my bills. Like, but I need to work, but I can't work because my brain won't work. Just be a little transparent so that you can take care of yourself. And in that transparency, I think you will get more support in all things. And sometimes I didn't want anybody to talk to me because it made me cry more. And then I hate crying in front of people, because I don't want anybody to think I'm like weak or vulnerable, or, not able to do something. So my mind is like, I'm going to laugh through it. So I'm probably going to make a joke, and then it's going to be like, it'll probably get inappropriate. So I'm just like, just leave me alone. I'm fine. Everything's fine. And so I think, that is something that no one talks about. When you're going, oh, my ex cheated, or my ex left me, or, they went out for milk and never came home, I don't know what to do. You just find somebody. And again, if you don't have somebody, call a therapist. Get a therapist really quickly, because then you can be like, hey, I need to take this phone call. If you're at work, it'd be like, hey, it's my therapist. And then they'll be like, oh, okay. And I think the empathy and sympathy will come in that thing. And again, if your best friend has to pretend to be your mom and say, hey, your grandma died, that's what you need. My grandma died 6 times, but
I
it's
agree.
fine.
I agree with you this time. One of the only times that you have to have that special person to help you, not guide you through it, but be there like training wheels.
And again, like I said, my best friend now, she is very, like, she's not huggy. She does not want you to hug her. She's very like stoic. She's been through some shit. She's like, nope, don't need a hug. If you need a hug, I'll give you a hug, but it's going to be very awkward. I don't want the hug. But the milk, the protein shake, because I haven't eaten for 3 days, or the cookie, because who doesn't want a cookie? Or like the note would be like, this is a protein cookie. Don't eat the whole thing, or you might shit yourself. But it'll help you, have some energy for work today, or here's a coffee, or what do you need me to do? Do you need me to make copies? Do you need to do this? Hey, I had an extra lunch. Do you want that? And from that, and her not asking me like how I'm feeling, because she knew I would cry, I guess. I'm going to be up. Thank you, girl.
For
I love you.
For clept?
Thanks, Trace. I love you.
For clept?
And, I do have.
You don't get for clept very often. Damn.
Verklempt? No. That's a word that if you're not familiar with.
Kind of like Johnny on the spot. Johnny on the spot, he's verklempt.
I'm verklempt. I mean, like, I can't speak.
All right, everybody.
So find your people.
Find your people.
Or find the person that will call and be like, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. Rachel can't come to work today because she's laying on the bathroom floor.
Yep. Do a good job. And hey, don't do a half-ass job. Do a good job.
On the bathroom
Do your thing.
floor. That's another reason to get divorced. Whatever. But yeah, so work can be, again, if you're an independent worker, or if you work from home, remote, or whatever, seek somebody, find somebody, find that neighbor that can come check on you, do what you have to take care of you, because no one tells you about this stuff. This is the things like, there's a bazillion books.
And a therapist online.
Yeah,
So.
BetterHelp and all the things. And
all that stuff.
if your work has that AEP or EAP or whatever it's called, employee assistant program, reach out to that. I think you get like 3 to 6 sessions for each topic you have. So it could be, infidelity. It could be, whatever it is. You can talk about each of those things and get yourself some help. And if it's an EAP, then your work knows, and they may be more supportive of going, hey, here's a couple extra days off, or that PD day, you can just do some work in your office and close the door if you need to. So I'm thankful for the people in my life. Kelly, who's on that comes on sometimes. She was a big help too. Just making me laugh and going, hey, you might need a new toy.
And your girl for the season, she was there for you.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, life goes on.
Yeah.
There for a season. All right, everybody. Love ya.
Love you.
Bye.
Get to work.
Get to work. Work. Work.
Work.